Peace, people. This is LBOOGIEDAMANN, and let's get right into it. So, I came across a post on Facebook, right? And one of my homegirls had something to say in regards to how black men are not taking are responsible for the bad relationships and the single parenting aspect of the black community. Now, I'm going to read to you what she says, and I'm also going to read the post that she tagged. Okay? Now, you all may have seen this post. It's a meme where it talks about Young Jeezy and his fiance that he getting married to, the chick off that one show. I don't watch the show, and I don't know the name of it. It's either The Talk or The View or one of those two. But anywho, there's a meme that says black men are currently at a power struggle with black women. Asian and Hispanic women are taught to give men the utmost respect. Black men are being conditioned to act like men, therefore they don't have the same level of respect, which causes black marriages and black families to decline. It's deeper than what it appears. Okay? And there's another post right up under it where it says, "I'm proud of you, boy, and she is beautiful. Asian and Hispanic women have a level of loyalty that most black women wouldn't even understand. Congratulations, hashtag Young Jeezy and SLMG." So the first one I read was in response to the second one that I just read. Okay. Now, in regards to that, there's a lot of people I know, including relatives. I got a cousin where two of his children is from women of Hispanic descent. You know what I'm saying? Latino women. And he says firsthand that the way that they go about their relationships is a lot better and less volatile than the one he has with his so-called black baby mother. Okay? Now, what my homegirl posted in response to what I just read to you reads like this: "But if a black man acted their part, also a black woman wouldn't have to act like a man. Most Asian and Hispanic women grow up in that tradition where a lot of black females had to grow up in single mother homes. My children's father choose to not be a factor in their children's lives, and that's how the cycle starts. A lot of black men out here living their best lives and not helping raise the kids, so a lot of mothers have to step up and fill that void for their babies." Shrug shoulders emoji. Alright. So, what I basically came and responded to, because this shit turned into a thread. It turned into his own little thread. My very first question was, do you bear any blame for having children with an unfit male? At all. At all. That's my number one question, ladies. Y'all having kids with these men, but the men don't want to have kids with you. So you having children by a man that's unfit to be a parent. Aren't you partially responsible for that? Aren't you to blame for that? For having a kid with somebody who wasn't fit to have a kid? Aren't you partially to blame for forcing a child on a man who doesn't want to have children? Aren't you responsible for changing up the way that you act and treat your man after you become pregnant or after you have your child? Because that always seems to get glossed over. Women always switch it up. And the thing is, they say, well, I didn't switch it up. I was the same as I always was. He the one that switched it up. Well, it's still your fault because you had a child with a man before you knew if he was ready to have a child with you. Y'all hopped in the bed so damn quick and you popped one out so quick, he like, shit, this ain't what I bargained for. So now when he says, yo, I'm out because I told you I didn't want to have no kids. I'm out of here. You on your own. Yeah, he's not, you know what I'm saying? He's at the end of the day, he's responsible because it's his seed. But at the same time, you the one opened your legs up and had a child with him. You can't blame him for not being an unfit parent. You have to blame yourself for having a child with an unfit man. You have to blame yourself for going that far in a relationship with somebody who don't want to go that far. Not waiting long enough to see if he would be a good parent or a good father. Yeah, it happens most of the time. It happens by accident. Planned Parenthood is a joke. That's why they shut that shit down. People out here having kids, having babies, having relationships. They ain't even known each other a year. They ain't even known each other 2 years. It takes about 3 to 5 years to actually get to know somebody. And I'm talking about living with the person. Y'all might date for a couple of years, a few years, and then that brings it back to the other races. Because it's always a comparison with other races. You know what I'm saying? Most white people, I'm not talking about white trash, but I'm talking about white people who got their shit together. Most races who got their shit together, it don't even matter race. Most people who got their shit together, it's a class thing. The motherfuckers is not having kids out of wedlock. They not having a whole bunch of kids before they finish college. They not having a whole bunch of kids before they get their careers off the ground. That's some low class shit. Okay? So it isn't just a race thing. It's a fucking class thing when it comes to that. Now, if you want to take the time and say, well, you know what? I was wrong. He was wrong. We were both wrong. I can respect that. But when you putting 100% of the blame on the black man, that's not right. At the end of the day, as a man, we are responsible for what goes on in our community. But when we are kicked out of the home and forced to pay child support and not even be able to really see the kids, I'm not a father, so I'm not speaking for myself. I'm speaking for my brothers and my cousins and my relatives that I've seen go through these issues over the years. When you put them in that situation, like my own father, me and my father don't have the greatest relationship. But what I do know is that he paid child support, and my mom didn't take him to court for it either. He just paid out of his pocket. He came through and broke my mama off every month. Cash, hundreds. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, I know what type of relationship it was now that I'm an adult. You know what I'm saying? And he took care of his responsibility. My mom never really complained about him. I complained because I didn't really have a father like I wanted, but he did what he was supposed to do in the situation he was put in. Not everybody is like my father. Not everybody is going to give a fuck. You know what I mean? And it's the woman's responsibility to make sure that she's not having a child or getting into a serious relationship about somebody who's not going to give a fuck. When shit hits the fan, they're going to be ghosts, okay? Now, back to these comments. After I said, do you bear any blame for having children with an unfit male at all? Homegirl says, I'm not blaming anyone, but it is what it is. And if I got to fill that void for my babies, that's what I'm going to do. But don't say we the problem, because we got to step in and act y'all part. I just facepalm. I'm like, she don't want to accept responsibility at all. Don't want to do it at all, dog. And that's how the average black woman is. You know what I'm saying? Not all, but most. And then she puts a gif on there saying, at least you tried. Bart Simpson with the cake, putting the cake in the trash. So I comes back and I said, men are always ultimately to blame, but women need to learn to take responsibility for their own actions and admit when they were wrong. She comes back, men lie, women lie, but when it comes to the children, it shouldn't matter. Responsibility was the key word. And the statistics show that majority of black families grow up in single mother households. I get it, as a strong black man, that's a hard pill to swallow, but it's true. It's not all of y'all, but most don't care. But it's a lot of obstacles and challenges that a black man goes through. And it's a lot. What it is, they was going on tirades. They got the Twitter fingers. So it's a lot to read. And challenges that a black male goes through than any other race, I get that. I love my black kings, nor never tore any down, but I won't allow one to tear me down ever. And if I have to IG act like a man, as they say for my children, I will. I don't know what else to say. Then a third party female comes in and she jumps on and says, maybe at the time he didn't seem to be unfit. Maybe he was a really good guy. We've been together for a very long time. Then the baby came and he disappeared. Who was at fault? Now that was a question. My answer is both of y'all was at fault. Y'all had a child when both of y'all didn't want to have a child. That's why he disappeared. And if you would have been with him long enough, you would have known that beforehand. Okay? And if you knew he didn't want to have a child and he had it and you had a child anyway, because there's a lot of women that go off of their birth control on purpose. I was just watching a damn movie, or I think it was a movie or a show where the chick went off birth control on purpose. As a matter of fact, it was Baby Boy. It was Baby Boy. Okay? So you can't just say that, oh, it was just all the man. That's what it takes two to make a baby, baby. You know what I'm saying? And shit, when the baby came, he disappeared because that's not what he bargained for. That's not what he asked for. And you gave it to him anyway. So that was the end of the relationship. Irreconcilable differences, as women like to say in court. So she goes back. She continues to say, now we have to take on the responsibility of a mother and a dad. You know how hard it is for a woman to raise a boy into a man? That's another question. The answer to that is a woman can't raise a boy to be a man. It takes a father to raise a boy to become a man. A woman can't do that. The woman, the best she can do is nurture him and educate him up to a certain age. Why you think when teenagers get to 12, 13, 14 years old, they rebel against their mom? Because they like, shit, I'm looking at what you got going on and you ain't really got much going on either, to be all the way honest. So why am I sitting here and have you try to tell me what to do and dictate shit when you ain't even got your own life together? Let's go to the movie Boys in the Hood, for example. Once Trey got to a certain age, his mom couldn't handle him no more. She said, you need to go with your father. And that's where he was supposed to be, with his father from that point forward. That's why he grew up to be the man that he became. Yeah, it's a fictional story, but that shit happens every day. It's real. That's why the movie is so legendary. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah. It takes a man to raise a man. You know what I'm saying? That's why we have so many fucked up kids out here and adults, because they didn't have no man to show them where the fuck to go, what the fuck to do, what to look out for, and things like that. They got to depend on a woman. And a woman's perspective of the world is completely 100% different, okay, than a man's perspective of the world. Straight up. It's two completely different roles. That's why a mom can't be a dad and a dad can't be a mom. Those roles are reserved for the mom and the dad. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to go too far off, but that shit with Mother's Day and Father's Day, I'm not wishing no mom happy Father's Day. And I'm not wishing no dad happy Mother's Day. I see that as disrespectful. But let me get back to what she was saying. So she says, instead of pointing fingers at us, you should blame black men. Instead of pointing the fingers at us, you black men should be praising us. Society already tearing us down. We don't need y'all to do it too. Hello? Beyonce, worship as a goddess. Serena Williams, worship as a goddess. Cardi B, worship as a goddess. They putting black women up on a pedestal. It don't matter if you a athletic black woman, you're a mother, or you're a hoe. They putting you up on a pedestal. So don't be talking about the industry or the government or the society is tearing y'all down. Society is really holding y'all up on a pedestal. How the fuck is Cardi B talking to Joe Biden about issues in the black community and she's not even black? Y'all got shit fucked up. Seriously. Joe Biden is talking to Cardi B? Seriously. But that's y'all girl, though. That's y'all girl. And she believes that's y'all, she's y'all girl because of Love and Hip Hop. Y'all supported her to the max. Even when she said that she was drugging and getting black men drunk and robbing them. Y'all still hold that shit up on a pedestal. That's why I wrote a song called You Could Be a Hoe. It's going to be on my project, Milk from a Dirty Glass. Part 2. You could be a hoe. Because these females can't do no wrong. They can't do no wrong. And I'm like, that's bullshit. I just had an issue with my mom Dukes. I was talking to her about something. I was telling her that next time you need to do it this way because the way you did it just now just slowed up the whole process of what we was trying to do. And she never wanted to admit that she was wrong and that I'm right. She just want to just talk over me and yell and get to singing nursery rhymes and shit. Immature, childish. And this woman is in her 50s. You know what I mean? So I know a woman in her 30s, how the hell she acting and thinking. I see it all the time. So that whole society thing with women is at the front of the Black Lives Matter movement, which I do not support as far as the organization. I understand the message behind it or the message at the forefront, surface level, but behind it, I don't support that shit, man. But it's black women that got that going on. Black women advocating for trans rights, gay rights, and having the woman be the one in charge. You know what I mean? So that whole society tearing us down thing, that's BS. I'm going to keep on pushing, though. That was the end of that comment. So my homegirl come back and says all I was trying to say. Then homegirl, the other one comes back and say they don't get it. The homegirl says it's a pride thing. You know what I'm saying? And another person comes in and tags my homegirl and says, yup, because if we had real men in our households, then we wouldn't act the way we act. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, well, there's a lot of men that are in the household that raise their kids from infancy into adulthood. Both parents in the household, married 20, 30 years. But I guarantee you that they ain't dealing with the same motherfucking bullshit, nitpick issues that y'all deal with. Not at all. That's why they able to keep their man, while y'all can't. The older generation before me, they was able to keep their marriages and be able to travel and do things as families. We can't do that shit no more because everybody just got baby mamas and baby daddies. Don't nobody like each other. But that coochie was wet. That pussy was wet. The long stroke was hard, deep, pause. So that's all that mattered at that point. Now I got 2 kids with this bitch. And she don't want to do anything. She don't want to cook. She don't want to clean. All she want to do is just go out and kick it. Then on the other side is, now I got 2 kids with this nigga. He don't want to be a father. He don't want to be here. He want to do his thing. You know what I'm saying? And meanwhile, you got married couples out here. They had their kids well after they had already got their house bought. They got their cars. They got their careers lined up. Everything is set. Then they had their kids. They got good jobs. Not on Section 8. Got insurance. Just little basic shit. You know what I'm saying? They not having to rely on food stamps and unemployment. They don't have money issues because they had their shit together before they started their family. Like I said, it's a class thing. Niggas in the hood just fucking because it ain't shit else to do, especially in Toledo. Ain't shit to do out here but fuck. Straight up. You know what I'm saying? So let me get back to it. So then another one. Now we got the 4th female comes into the thread and says, amen. And a lot of times we don't know that. And a lot of times we don't know they are not men until shit hits the fan and it's time to sink or swim. That's when we really know, and we do everything we can to compensate for that. Right. And the reason you don't know that they ain't shit or they not men is because y'all ain't with them long enough. Y'all with a boy who fucking 21. He 21, 22. You know what I'm saying? He got him a car. He got him a little job. He got him a little apartment. You know what I'm saying? He doing his thing. He ain't got no motherfucking time for no relationship for real. He don't have time to have kids and start a family. It's too early for him. He too young. But y'all pounce on that like shit. He got a little something going on. I'm about to shit. I'm gonna lock him up. Not saying it don't go both ways, because there's a lot of dumbass niggas out here that's like, oh shit, she got some big titties, that ass fat, she cute, natural hair. I'm like that too. But I was never the one to say shit. I'm gonna have to put her on the 18-year payment plan. I've had motherfuckers real live, quote unquote, say that shit to me, bruh. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it goes both ways. But right now, we talking about what was originally posted. And what was originally posted was basically saying it's all men's fault and it ain't the woman's responsibility and the women ain't the women's fault. Well, shit, both of y'all motherfuckers, it takes 2. It takes 2 to tango. You know what I'm saying? So then, after that, it's a bunch of, yeah, you right, we fucking tired. Yeah, tired. Yes, honey. And then the last post that my homegirl said exactly. Like, how can y'all compare us to a race that drives on family first? They say they stay together by any means. It's tradition. We don't have that nowadays. First off, I'm not staying with the man that disrespects me in front of my children or anyone for that matter. And then have my children think it's all right. No, ma'am. I'd rather be a single mother. But y'all know that's what they want. Their cake and to eat it as well. A strong black queen ain't going for it. And rather than have us by their sides, they want to be in front, which we really don't have a problem with. But I won't stand in the back to get left, embarrassed, abused, etc. And because I know my worth, my strong black queens I was raised by show me that. All right, I'm going to keep it a buck. A man ain't going to disrespect a woman who doesn't deserve it. Flat the fuck out. Whatever the reason is for him disrespecting you, it don't matter how big of a reason, how small, but there's a reason. You is either, like you said, you want him to stand in the front. You want to be by their sides. You want them to stand in the front, but you don't want to stand in the back though. You want to dictate. I can see it happen. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen, yo. You can't sit there and tell a man to take the reins and wear the pants, but y'all both getting fitted for the same slacks every day. Black women don't know how to shut the fuck up sometimes. Shit, I scratched that. I'm sorry. Black women don't know how to shut the fuck up most of the times. Just be quiet and let the man do what he does. If he disrespecting you, it's because he felt disrespected. Or and if he just disrespected you just to disrespect you, then he wasn't a real man. And it's your fault for having a child by him. Straight up. And as far as the strong black queens that raised you to be in the situation that you in, they to blame as well. Because they didn't show you or teach you how to determine whether a man is worthy of being the father of your children. They didn't teach you that. You mentioned the strong black queens, but what about the strong black men in your life? They wasn't there to show you what a strong black man is supposed to be like, how he's supposed to act and conduct himself. That wasn't there. So now you stuck trying to find whatever you can find, and the first thing you find ain't shit. Turns out to actually be shit. And you gotta accept responsibility, and you gotta accept responsibility for that, straight up. So I just came back because all this shit was happening overnight. They was going ham overnight. You know what I'm saying? And I said this sounded like a great podcast topic. So I said, fuck it, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about this thread. You know what I'm saying? Give my 2 cents in regards to reaction, because I ain't about to type all of that. You know what I'm saying? So, at the end of the day, black men, we are responsible for what the black community is going through. Because we have to step up and be man and motherfucking bring about the change that needs to happen. We can't depend on anybody else besides ourselves to make sure that that change happens in our community. I'm not even talking about as far as society with the laws and the judicial system and politics and things like that. I'm just talking about in the black household, in the black neighborhood. Black men need to do better. We need to police ourselves better. We're not policing ourselves. You got all these crazy motherfuckers running amok that was raised by single black queens. They running amok. Because all they know how to act like is like they mama. So, at the end of the day, it's up to us black men to motherfucking step up and take back control of this shit and stop letting the narrative dictate how we live our lives and how we raise our families and how we set up future generations. And at the same time, women, y'all gotta accept responsibility. Say, I'm sorry. Say, my bad. Or that was my fault. Or I was wrong. I know it's like pulling teeth. I know. But you have to do that if you want any self-respecting man to take you seriously. You have to do that. If you can't do that, then don't expect to be taken seriously. Straight up. My name is LBOOGIEDAMANN. Hard Knock Worldwide. This is just a topic I wanted to speak on, and I hope it opens the eyes for some people. And if y'all have any questions or comments or any other topics y'all want me to talk about, then feel free to let me know. LBOOGIEDAMANN@gmail.com. Follow me on social media. The YouTube channel is LBOOGIEDAMANN. Instagram, LBOOGIEDAMANN. Facebook, LBOOGIEDAMANN. And yeah, peace and blessings, wealth and health.